And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to helping you win in any marketplace. Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We got a great lineup for you today. Attorney Jason Kobal in the house, legal analyst talking about workers' comp, personal injury law, and fair debt. Welcome in, Jason.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming in. Also, Louise Harris as well. Going to be talking about how to stand out in a crowd. Welcome in.
Hi, Brandon. It's great to be here. And just like every other industry, you have to stand out to the editors at media.
Yeah, absolutely. Press releases, lots of ways, marketing-wise, talking about building relationships as well. And we are your number one consumer advocate program here in Tampa Bay. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent in Tampa Bay, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. Looking for listings right now. It's a low inventory market, so we'd love to talk to any sellers out there, buyers, sellers, investors. We'd love to talk to you. As you can see, we do a lot of advertisements for our property, Homes and Land magazine, amongst other ways that we promote your property in ways that are going to help you get maximum exposure, sell your properties faster for more money. We want you to save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. And don't forget our number. We got an open house going on this weekend as well at one of our real estate properties, 12091 145th Street in Largo. This is a beautiful property in Largo, just reduced. The owner's motivated here, and it's a open house Saturday 11 to 3 over in Largo. Check out our website, platinummvprealty.com, for more details. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage property here in a great location. Now, it's not a flood zone, but it's literally 5-minute drive to the beach just over the bridge, and you are on the sugar sands of Gulf of Mexico. Beautiful Florida location here in Tampa Bay. And we want to give a big shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza. Our official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza. Now, make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. They're going to hook you up with a free appetizer. All you have to do is just mention that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show and enjoy the best Italian restaurant dining experience Tampa Bay has to offer. Brio Tuscan Grill, located off of Bay Street next to the Renaissance Tampa Hotel at the International Plaza. Now, on the weekends, they also have a great brunch, so check them out for the brunch on the weekends. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and go say hello to our official restaurant partner, Brio Tuscan Grill, International Plaza. All right, so we have our feel-good story of the week as well. Gal Gadot visits Children's Hospital dressed as Wonder Woman. So pretty cool story in our feel-good positivity segment. And we want to start you off with a little bit of an audible, help you live a better life here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we got the 6 Ps. Today we want to talk about the 6 Ps. Proper prior planning prevents poor performance. So in your business, you're in business, you are planning your day, you're planning your week, your month. Sometimes you're planning ahead. You want to make sure you think about the 6 Ps that I learned from Brian Tracy. He talks about, the ability to make a list the night before or weeks before in advance if you're planning a big event, and put your subconscious mind to work. Answer any questions. Write down any questions that you may have before you go to bed. Your positive energy is going to help you fuel your success. Progress, you're going to look for progress every day. You're going to push forward, energize, and release endorphins when you accomplish these tasks. And think about it as there's another rule called the 10-90 rule, where the first 10% of the time that you put into working and planning this event or day or week, what you're going to do is find out that the first 10% of the time that goes into developing that, it's going to help you get 90% of the job faster. So the rule is think on paper. Anytime you have a detailed decision, kind of like a business does a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, you want to write it down on paper, really thoroughly think it through, put it on paper, and remember the 6 Ps are going to be crucial to your success. Proper prior planning prevents poor performance. So anytime you think about negotiations, you think about even our president, Donald Trump, when they talk about negotiations, oftentimes it's the most prepared that's going to win that negotiation. So there's a idea for you. Remember the 6 Ps, and it's going to help you live a better life in your day-to-day success trends. All right, let's jump into it. Jason Kobal, he's our legal analyst here today on the show. We're talking about workers' comp. We're talking about personal injury law and fair debt practices and collection efforts from some of these different companies. So where do you want to start?
Well, since you mentioned the president, I think it's appropriate to mention the choice he made yesterday for Kavanaugh to be the next Supreme Court justice. We'll see how things work out in the next phase before the Senate. But definitely a good selection in that Yale grad, great experience. And it seems like there's opinions on each side. On one hand, this is a gentleman that actually worked for Ken Starr, and he actually formulated some of the impeachment arguments for Bill Clinton. So that's a little scary for President Trump, knowing what he's facing with Mueller. And then on the other hand, he also, in 2008 or 9, he wrote an article about how if someone's the president, they shouldn't have to be dealing with an investigation, and it could take away from their time from doing the job.
Right.
And so a lot of people look at that as a pro, and that's why President Trump picked him. And then others felt he wasn't going to go that direction because of the whole impeachment experience. So, there's arguments on both sides. But very interesting choice.
Yeah, it is. And when you look at the Supreme Court, I mean, that's the Mac Daddy of it all. I mean, every decision could potentially make it to that court, and it's those, 5 justices up there that you have that are going to decide, hey, here's the way of the rule of the land.
Right.
So it's a lot of power up there at the top.
Yep. And, now this is the second justice that Trump picked, Neil Gorsuch, and now Kavanaugh. So, it's just, you never know when they're going to retire. And it just so happened that he was able to pick 2. And now, the scales are slighted a little bit towards the conservative. I think it's a 5-4 makeup right now. But we'll see. Yeah, it's definitely going to impact things for the immediate future. That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's Kavanaugh's pretty young.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
and so it's interesting. You look at the courts, the rule of land. You keep your ear to the ground as well, and you bring this information to us. So you had mentioned before the show as well. There's some new changes that happened. Is that in the workers' comp realm?
Yeah. You always ask me about the law changes, and I went over a few of them with you, but I forgot to mention a big case that came out for the Florida Supreme Court called Westfall. And what this did is it actually expanded the amount of lost wages an injured worker could get. It used to be 104 weeks, or when you reach max medical improvement. Max medical improvement is the point where your doctor says you're as good as you're going to get. Doesn't mean you're done treating. It just means you can't be improved any further. That cuts off your lost wage benefits. If you're not at MMI, it would automatically cut off at 2 years or 104 weeks. The Florida Supreme Court ruled that was unconstitutional, and now they raised it to 260 weeks.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more beneficial to the injured worker, and I've already seen it in a few of my cases where I've had clients get beyond that 104 weeks. So that's a major change that happened from the court as opposed to the legislature.
Sounds like a win for the good guys there.
Yes,
that's great.
I think so.
For the consumer, yeah, absolutely. Yep. So workers' comp. So, for our listeners out there, if you're thinking about workers' comp, there's some misconceptions that I think we should talk about, Jason. Attorney Jason Kobal here. He's our legal analyst on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. So what are some of the things that you see that happen as just misconceptions? People just they're not aware of it.
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really... My clients, a lot of them get a shock when they see how the system works. One of the most shocking developments that they encounter real fast is when you get hurt in the state of Florida, you get forced into the system. You don't get to go to the doctors you want. You could maybe the emergency room. The accident happens, you go where you have to go. But then beyond that, the insurance carrier dictates which doctors you see. And a lot of the doctors know where their bread is buttered, if you know what I mean. So they're picking doctors for a reason. And I've seen it time and time and again over the last 17 years where I have clients that I see their MRI reports. I know they're injured, but yet they get sent to certain doctors that are their go-to doctors, and it could be a problem. You know?
Yeah, it really is. And then just
that's why you need representation.
You do, and it's amazing. Like I just got a report or one of the letters from my insurance company just for myself and my daughter. The increase was. It was marginal, but it was 20% increase, and it's like, wow, it's only going to go up from there,
right? Yeah.
So these costs are just constantly going north, and it's like, wow,
Yep. And that brings me to another point real quick. The legislature also made another change, and this one stung me. To limit the rates, they actually got rid of. I used to be able to send brochures to injured workers. There was a database that would come out every month for free. And I would be able to send the law to injured workers. That's no longer allowed. Wow. Because they wanted to limit the amount of claims.
Right.
By taking away information. I don't know if that's so fair, but that's
crazy.
what happened.
That is crazy. I know they really, in terms of marketing, real estate mortgage, we can do a lot of marketing, do not call lists, of course, those things. And attorneys, they really hamper the marketing that you can do.
Yeah.
They do, man.
That one hurt.
They shoestring you. I mean, it's like, wow, how, can't call them, you gotta, they got to call you. And there's all these different rules around it. All right, stay with us. More from Jason Kobal, our legal analyst here. We're going to talk about personal injury law next and some of the misconcerns, things there in that space. Louise Harris as well in studio. We're going to talk about how to stand out in a crowd and grow your sphere of influence. Summer vacation destinations coming up here, according to U.S. News and World Report. And our feel-good story of the week as well, Wonder Woman visiting a hospital. So find out more about that. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Once upon a time,
right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. That is our goal. We want to help you win, help you avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our community. We've got 80-plus show partners, CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, all types of home services, marketing experts that you can reach out to on our website, consumerqb.com. You'll see links to a lot of our different partners there, consumerqb.com. And for all your real estate needs, our show is powered by Platinum MVP Realty, PlatinumMVPRealty.com. We'd love to talk to you if you're thinking about selling, buying, selling, or investing. We have a great team that can help you there. And we are looking for a few agents that may want to join our team and take advantage of our unique marketing and some of the, plethora of leads. We're generating tons of leads, setting records, so we need more help. So we'd love to talk to you as well. So reach out. We'd love to, talk to you and educate you a little bit about what we're doing and have that exploratory conversation and let you know. All right, here's a hot listing. We've got another open house going on this weekend as well, 1370 Gulf Boulevard, unit number 401. We got an open house going on Saturday and Sunday here at 1370 Gulf Boulevard, unit number 401. It's the Bella Rosa condo right on Sand Key, Clearwater Beach. Beautiful property, $1.175 million. It's an end unit, so you've got the windows on the side. Gorgeous views of the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, you are right on the beach. And this Bella Rosa is one of the condos that has relatively low and affordable condominium dues, the HOA dues. So a lot of these other buildings are, $2,000 and up for covering your insurances on your roof, your some of your common area stuff, maintenance. But this one is very affordable. And it's a great opportunity at $1.175 million right on the beach, 2,198 square feet, basically 2,200 square feet. Gulf Boulevard, Bella Rosa condo. Check it out. Beautiful pictures as well. Excellent photography done by our photographer. Fabre Frameworks is our official real estate photography company, and they are doing a great job on our real estate properties, putting together beautiful tours, pictures, and video. PlatinumMVPRealty.com. You can find out more information. All right, Jason Kobal's here in the house, and we are talking about legal advice, not say advice on the radio here, but it's basically where there's misconceptions, there's things that people don't understand. So we talked a little bit about workers' comp. You want to talk about personal injury now?
Sure,
okay.
Absolutely.
So personal injury law, I mean, that's your slip and falls, that's your auto accidents. These are different areas. We talked about fights that happen outside of clubs, if there's not proper security, basically a form of negligence on the part of a business owner, if that's the case. So what are you seeing out there?
I know we discussed this a little bit the last time I was on. For slip and falls, like say you go to the grocery store, you slip and fall, you always have to be able to prove notice, meaning since you have to prove fault, if you slip on a substance and that substance just, whatever the dangerous circumstance was, just got formed or created, and then you slipped, there was no time for the property owner to have the duty to clean that up before the accident.
Got it.
And I don't care how hurt you are, there's no case.
Right.
Whereas if it is, in the middle of aisle one at peak time and it's been there for an hour, well, then clearly somebody should have cleaned it up.
Right.
And, the accident happened after that. That's a good, clean case. So that's one thing that gets overlooked for slip and falls. And then for car accidents, of course, the big thing is the new changes to the PIP law. I guess they're not as new as they were. It's about 2 years now. But at any rate.
Personal injury protection?
Correct. Yep. And by law, we all have to have that. $10,000 property damage and then $10,000 PIP, and what that is the first $10,000. Even if it's someone else's fault, your own PIP will cover the first $10,000 of medical care and lost wages, and then after that, then you go to the bodily injury. Now, if you get to a doctor within 14 days of the accident, you get the full $10,000. If you don't, you only get $2,500.
The old 14-day rule.
Exactly, and that's one you don't want to forget. And also another difference when I was speaking about workers' comp, where they get to pick all your doctors. For car accidents, you get to pick your doctors. So it's very good to go with an attorney that has connections and has doctors that he knows and trusts.
Yeah. What questions should they ask? I mean, if they, whenever that accident happens, there's a lot of thoughts running through their mind. There's a lot of adrenaline pumping through the veins. What are some of the things? Keep calm. What questions should they ask, Jason?
I tell you what, the best thing I could remind people is we all have most of us, an amazing tool right on us, and that's our phone. Mm-hmm. Take pictures. Take pictures of your vehicle. Take pictures of their vehicle. Take pictures of the license plate. Take as many pictures as you can, because that stuff is great evidence. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how critical phones have become in my cases.
Right.
And I love the clients that, when I interview them, they already have like 100 pictures for me to look at. That's wonderful, because that's evidence that doesn't disappear. And it's
that's great.
Right at the time of the incident. So yeah, definitely I would say use that phone.
In a video, maybe even, huh?
Even better.
Yeah. Take a video, show the damage.
And these phones are so high tech. I mean, the high definition is a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really comes in handy.
So personal injury law, what else are you seeing? What else is out there? You got, businesses that are being negligent, accidents. What else? What other property, property damage you're looking for? What do you see?
Other than that, that's basically it for personal injury. The other area that I deal with is Social Security disability.
Okay.
That is a system that we know is running out of money.
Right.
And until they figure it out, that's just the way it is. And it's very unfortunate, because I have a lot of clients that I know deserve it under the law, and they're not getting approved just yet. And it's a long process. It generally takes from the time you start a claim until the very last time you go before the judge and have a hearing is about 2.5 years.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a long wait with no money coming in. And frankly, I feel like they hope a lot of people can't wait that long and jump out.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
that is so sad. I mean, here we are in the best country on the planet, but 2.5 years we got to wait now for Social Security disability.
And granted, I'm allowed to ask for them to make a decision before the hearing, but the difference is those are made by in-house employees of the Social Security, whereas the hearing, now you can appeal that decision, and there's evidence you could appeal up to the higher levels. So the first two decisions, there's no one to appeal to. So that's where you find injustice, where they're denying people that shouldn't. But usually when you get to the hearing, the judges are good.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we've heard similar stories from our immigration analyst as well, our attorney that comes on and talks about that. He said, man, the immigration courts are way backed up too.
Oh, yeah. That's a major problem.
Yeah.
And then now the loophole, there's a lot of people coming from Central America that are crossing illegally, and it's just a jam, a little predicament that we're in, just because of the way the laws are set up right now, and Congress is going to have to change that, hopefully.
Yeah. What do you see happening in that?
Well, we're going to have to do something because right now, we all know what happened with President Trump, separating families with the zero tolerance. What that was about was what I just said. There's been a surge, and it's the same thing that Obama dealt with in 2014, where they see that our system has these loopholes, and they're exposing them, and they're flooding our borders illegally to try to basically, when you have an adult with someone who's saying that they're a kid, your choices are limited. Obama used to detain them together, and then this case called the Flores case said you can't do that. So you can't just release them. We used to do that, catch and release. That was problematic because 80% of the time they weren't showing up for their hearings. And sometimes you're releasing them with people that they're saying they're parents that really aren't.
Right.
So President Trump tried this zero tolerance thing, and that backfired. So really, there's no good options, and that's why Congress has to change it.
Yeah, it's really tough, man. Yep. Wow, what bunch of challenges there. So on a local level here in Tampa Bay, you're helping customers, clients, our listeners, our viewers of our TV show with workers' comp, personal injury law, fair debt, and also Social Security disability awards.
Correct.
So the fair debt is one we haven't talked a lot about. So fair debt, you're helping people who are getting calls by creditors, those types of things?
Yeah, it's funny.
So those calls can be annoying. They can be up until 9 o'clock at night, I believe.
Yep. And what really is rampant is the fraud. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, people are getting calls on bills that aren't even theirs, and a lot of identity theft. Mm-hmm. So I'm helping people. If you're getting a bill that you don't know what it is, give me a call. And also, annualcreditreport.com. Anybody can get your credit reports for free once a year. And there's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And get all three. If you see anything on there that doesn't look right, you give me a call, because under the FCRA, you might be entitled to a statutory penalty of up to $1,000.
Fair Credit Reporting Act.
You got it.
So FCRA, annualcreditreport.com. Good tips there from Jason Kobal. He's our legal analyst here, local attorney. We want you working with our local companies, local attorney here in Tampa Bay. Jason, what's the website? What's your website?
It's www.koballaw.net.
Kobal.
law.net.
Koballaw.net. All right, so that's Jason. More from Jason later in the show in our lightning round and commentary coming up. But I want to take the last minute or so here with Louise Harris, kind of tease us a little bit. What are we going to talk about on the flip side?
Well, as you guys know, as an attorney and as a real estate agent, it's very competitive.
Yes.
And when someone is sending a press release, they are one of thousands that an editor can get. So you have to find a way to be unique that they will pick yours and do a story on you. Yeah,
that's right. We saw Bitcoin being used as a way to stand out. Local real estate agent did that, and he utilized Bitcoin as the medium for exchange and said, hey, this is something we're doing. It's a first in Tampa Bay. Great strategy on his part.
Right, because he was the first. And then he had something unique that they didn't had ever seen before.
Right.
So they were like, let's jump on this. But then you have the bandwagon. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon, and you have to find a way to move them off the bandwagon.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about that differentiation in the marketplace, press releases, opportunities for getting your name out there and standing out in a crowd when we come back. Also, Gal Gadot visits Children's Hospital dressed as Wonder Woman. Find out more. Real Estate Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Tricia up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Platinum MVP Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. That is our goal. We've got Jason Kobal in the house, attorney Jason Kobal. He's our legal analyst. We're talking currently with Louise Harris. She's talking about how to stand out in the crowd, press releases, marketing, and lots of good stuff coming up as well. I want to give a shout out to Whole Body Fuel. Now, this is a healthy meal delivery service, and the food is amazing. We had some great food yesterday. Now, my wife, Lindsay, she's a vegan, or she's a vegetarian, so she eats the vegan meals, and it's very good. I saw some of the layout there. Just excellent food. The presentation is excellent. My daughter is a choosy or a picky little eater, right? 12 years old, going on 13. So so she even loves the meals. Salisbury steak with potatoes, broccoli. Last night we had a little bit of the chicken dish as well. Excellent food. Now, protein donuts. Check this out. Protein donuts, and they taste like the regular donuts. I mean, they taste so good. Excellent food. Whole Body Fuel is our partner here in this space. Whole Body Fuel. Now, they're a healthy meal delivery service. A lot of their meals are organic. Excellent food. Check them out. Whole Body Fuel. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Talk to them about their delivery service, and the food is so good. You got to check them out. Whole Body Fuel. Protein donuts they had, and Braylon loved it. It was a chocolate. She said it's like a worm dirt with the jelly, the gummy worm on it. So it was so good. I was like, I want half of that one. That was good. So, all right, back here in studio. Here we go. Let's jump right into it. I got a hot listing here. I want to let you know about 7441 Islander Lane in Hudson. This is in the Sea Pine subdivision. 4 bedrooms, 2 bath. Beautiful property. There's a sun deck up top that looks all the way overlooking the Gulf of Mexico. Beautiful property here. 2,200 square foot garage downstairs for boats and RVs, extra cars. You've got a beautiful floor plan. Excellent house here. 42-inch cabinets. Wonderful community. Now it's waterfront as well. You've got bay access, direct bay access out here through Hudson. It's a beautiful property. $398,000, and I think that's a steal for a beautiful property like that.
It sounds like a steal.
Granite in the kitchen.
For a waterfront property?
Yes, exactly. And a nice, large, newer built home. All right, here we go. Let's jump right into it. So Louise Harris, standing out in the crowd. What can the small business owners do out there?
Well, one way to do it is how you spin the press release. In the break, we were actually talking about a new program that Jason is doing, but it's in Washington State. So he said, how can I reach those media? And I said, well, it's just a matter of spinning it so that they would want to pick it up. And I have done that. I have clients all over the country, and I have written press releases never touching foot in those areas and still having those clients get picked up. So one of the ways of standing out is how the press release is actually written and what headline you use and how you spin it. Another way, though, is building the relationship in real estate. You may want to pick a couple key real estate writers and take them out for drinks and invite them to networking and just talk to them outside of the business and just get to know them. And then when your press release does come through, they'll recognize the name. Yeah. And so they'll be like, oh, okay, let's do a story on this guy.
I like that. That's a good idea. And here's the thing, too. I was talking to a company. I got telemarketing yesterday. Of course, every day I get, all types of realtors just get so many marketing messages every day. But the company was based on a similar model where they want to try to say that they're an aggregator. They're a news aggregator, and they're coming up with stories. But literally, when you do a Google search on people or businesses, if you get the right hit and you get the right editor and you are named by, a large newspaper, and that's going to show up on your Google for a long time.
Yes, it will. Especially if you do what I do for my clients, and that's target the news search. Instead of just going into Google and searching the name, I actually Google newspapers and radio and television. So then I am actually finding news stories about my clients.
Yeah.
But once you are in a paper like the Tampa Bay Times, or you're on Bay News 9, they put that on their website. So then it becomes searchable, and then you become more well known because it has a longevity.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. The ability to create a website or business and then a press release that is going to somehow intrigue people. It's going to be something that it's going to be topical. If you look at what's trending on Twitter or Facebook, you find, okay, here's what people are already talking about. How can I maybe somehow, like you said,
make it unique so that they want to say, yes, I want to do a story about this. And you can do that with the trends. In fact, that's a lot of times they'll take things like Breast Cancer Awareness Month and they'll find a way that they are the expert and connected to breast cancer awareness, and then the editors will say, let's do a story on that local company. It's all in the manner of how you connect it to the trend and how you make it unique. But doing it yourself, you probably aren't going to have that ability to do it. You have to actually hire an expert that has done it for years and knows how to connect the trend and the spin.
Yeah, and the big social movement now kind of started back. You think about like Tom's shoes. You buy a pair of shoes from them. They give a pair to a needy kid, and wherever he's at. That is a trend now. I mean, it's been a trend, and it's something to where you can tie in the humanity piece to it.
And that's always a good goal too for a small business, because if you can show that you're more human, then you will counteract the negative press that you might get. A lot of the big corporations, they always have negative press.
Right.
And then when they're out doing things that for good, then it balances the negatives. So one that comes to mind is GE. They have a division that's clean water, and they have been providing clean water to African nations for years. And every time GE gets hit with bad news, they always bring up the fact that, well, we're also humanitarian. We're helping all these people live because we're providing clean water.
Yeah.
So
one of the biggest companies, in the United States and in the world for that matter, GE, they've been a big time staple in the S&P. Lots of dollars to put behind a marketing platform and a PR platform.
Right. And yes, budget does matter, but doesn't have to deter a small business. You can do things like this cheaply and affordably. You don't have to have the big budgets of McDonald's. It's just those are the ones that can send them out like every 3 days or something.
Yeah.
And they have big PR staffs that are looking at all the trends, and they have dedicated people just for social media.
Right.
But the small business owner, they can do it too. They just have to find the way that's economical for them.
Yeah, got to hustle harder, work harder, maybe utilize interns. In the past, I've worked with interns. University of Tampa does a great job with their internship program down there. So, yeah, it's interesting when you think about that. If you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We're talking with Louise Harris here, talking about standing out in the crowd. Last Research and Editing is her company name. So we talked about press releases. You also do ghostwriting and help people with those? Which
is another way to stand out in the crowd. If you have a book that you're an expert in that industry and you write a book, it boosts your credibility, and it makes you stand out, because you can always say, I am Brandon Rhymes, author of the Surfing the Radio Waves.
That's right. Become the MVP.
Become the MVP in my industry by surfing the radio waves.
So that's the idea. So it's a way that you can stand out, especially if you walk into a client's listing presentation, or they're in your office and you sign a copy for them.
Right. And also, if you give them away as an ebook, and when they download it, you can capture names and be able to provide them with information and newsletters and email blasts just by having them download your ebook. So, but a person that has a book it's another level. They become more. An expert. People automatically say, "Oh, he's written a book. He must be know what he's doing."
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the other ways that I help my clients, is I help them stand out that way.
So you can help them write a book.
And
become a published author with Louise Harris.
So as the ghostwriter, you actually do the writing?
Sometimes I also do a lot more editing than I do. Like they'll write a chapter, and I will tell them how to make it better.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of times with the ghostwriting process, it's pretty neat. You can sit there and have a phone conversation or face-to-face conversation and say, here's what I like. I tell them a story about what happened when you were a kid and how it affected you in your life. And then, they're great at writing and putting those ideas on paper.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
It takes a creative spin, but you have to work with the author because it won't. If you don't work with the person that you're trying to do, you'll have people at both ends of the table, and they won't come together. So.
Right. Yeah. All right, stay with us right here for our final segment. We have our feel-good story coming up. Gal Gadot visits Children's Hospital dressed as Wonder Woman. What would you do if you walked in and you saw Wonder Woman in the room? Pretty cool, huh?
That is cool.
All right, our feel-good story of the week. And also, Tampa Riverwalk nominated for 2018 People's Choice Award in a statewide architecture contest. Stay with us right here at Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
We're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. Tampa Riverwalk nominated for 2018 People's Choice Award in a statewide architecture contest. Tampa, Florida Riverwalk is in the running to be recognized as Florida's favorite building with the best architecture. Pretty cool story here. It talks about how it's one of 39 buildings nominated for the 2018 People's Choice Award by the Florida Association and the American Institute of Architects, AIA, and the Florida Foundation for Architecture. So according to the website, Tampa's Riverwalk is currently in second place. So pretty cool. Their competition includes Kate Tideman College of Business in St. Petersburg and the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall renovation in Sarasota. Voting is until the 20th of July. The results will be announced the convention at the Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa, Ponte Vedra Beach, on the 21st, July 21st. So pretty cool. We got a lot of good stuff happening around Tampa Bay. That's just one of them.
Yep.
One of many stories. Isn't it neat? Pretty cool, man.
Yep, absolutely.
That whole downtown looks really cool. We went out of Freedom Boat Club. We were part of Freedom Boat Club, and we went out a couple weekends ago down the river right there, and just looking at the river walk, seeing how everybody's enjoying the waterfronts. It's amazing.
Yeah, what a difference, man. Just last 10 years, amazing changes.
Yeah, you look. I remember we looked to the left, you saw Humpty Dumpty sitting on the wall up there. Did you see that one? I think it's at Eulalie.
Yes, I did.
Isn't that pretty neat?
My son saw that.
Yeah, that's pretty
right.
cool. Yeah. But we're here in the studio. We got Jason Kobal. He's our legal analyst, local attorney here, helping people with workers' comp, personal injury law, fair debt practices, as well as Social Security, world's disability, and some of those different things. Louise Harris, last research and editing as well. Standing out in crowd, how to properly utilize press releases, how to put together different social media plays, and blog writing as well as ghostwriting. So helping people with that. Got a hot listing here I want to let you know about. 3911 West Euclid. This is a property in South Tampa. Beautiful listing. It's in the Plant High School District. A great property. $837,000 list price. And it's a gorgeous 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-story home in the best school district in South Tampa, according to a lot of people. Plant High School. 10-foot ceilings throughout. Move-in ready, 4,000 square foot home, over 44,000 square feet, 5,400 square foot total, $837,000. Beautiful property. Check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com. PlatinumMVPRealty.com. And let's give a shout out to our friends at Temple Float over in Palm Harbor. Temple Float Spa in Palm Harbor. It's a really cool opportunity to go in and relax and just float. It's one of these chambers where you can actually float. And it's got like 1,000 pounds of salt in there, so it's really cool meditation opportunity. So Temple Float, say hello to our friends Ron, and Relax, Reset, Relief over in Palm Harbor. It's 35054 U.S. Highway 19 North in Palm Harbor. All right, we're back here in studio, and we are talking with Louise Harris, standing out in a crowd. What else are you seeing out there?
Well, we were talking about the Supreme Court, so obviously that's a big news story.
Yeah.
And I was saying before the show that every single time a Supreme Court justice comes up, it's always controversy, regardless of who's in president. But it is a really great job to have, because you have it for life, and, and you don't have to work. You only work a few months out of the year, and you don't have to worry about ever getting fired. I mean,
yeah,
it's what I would like, but
yeah, it's a really neat opportunity.
It does make big decisions, and a lot of times they affect the press and the First Amendment. And I don't know. We were talking about the. Well, I don't know what we were talking about, but it just. When I said the First Amendment, it made me think of the shooting in Annapolis of the 5 journalists that were killed.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
That was really sad. But,
yeah.
And I lived up there, so I know I know the Capitol Gazette really well. So it was sad to see that.
It is. It's crazy. These different tragedies that come out, and is it happening more? Is it that we hear about it more?
I think it's because we hear about it more. Before we had information overload, we had a newspaper, and maybe you turned on the TV and got your news.
Right.
But now it's everywhere. It's on your phone. It's on billboards. It's on the things that go across the stadiums.
The tickers,
Yeah. So you cannot get away from news. So I think it's because we just hear it more.
Yeah, it follows you around. We canceled our subscription to cable. I think it's one of the best things we've done, is where, because you used to just walk in the room, click it on, boom, there goes the news, just pouring this negativity out. And now it's like if I sit down to watch TV, it's for a reason. I'm going to watch a Netflix series or a show that I wanted to see. And you cut out all the commercials.
And you're in control now. Yep.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're in control. And so it's kind of an interesting scenario. You look at how the internet is the great equalizer. Think about the Me Too movement and all these different things, because for years and years and years, you had 3 or 4 or 5 main media companies controlling NBC, ABC, Fox. Had all this change. Now the big stories are on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all the social media sites.
And this is something that you may not know, that the Supreme Court actually about 10 years ago had a ruling on the internet that it was like a newspaper or a town hall as opposed to a broadcast, because the case was that the internet was broadcast, so it should follow the FCC rules. But what the Supreme Court ruled was that it was more like town hall or a newspaper, so it follows the print rules, not the broadcast rules, which is really interesting because that does allow you, and this was before social media, so now you can get on social media, say whatever you want to say, and you won't be pulled. Yeah,
that's interesting. That's an interesting story. So let's jump into our lightning round here. Let's go through some top tips here. We got lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Jason.
You know what? I got to shift gears, and I just want to give you props on something.
Oh, nice.
You know, this show is always about information that's practical, and this is probably the third guest that on the break I learned something, or it's useful for me personally.
Right.
And I'm actually going to be using Louise services in the future.
Nice.
So I got to give you props, man, because
awesome.
you always have great guests that
Thank you.
give good practical info.
I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
I'm on one part an expert guest, on the other part a consumer myself. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate it. And what a small world it is, too. You know, I had the listing appointment with the gentleman that knew you as I was talking about the show.
Yeah.
It is a small world, isn't it?
What are the chances, right?
Yeah, it really
and
is.
I have to second that. I learned a lot, and I always enjoy the other guests that you always have. And what I'd like to say, though, is I wanted to thank you because I had you had sent out a thank you note for my participation on your show.
Yeah.
And when I got it yesterday in the mail, and I had a bad day, so that lifted my spirits.
Nice.
So,
That's great.
Yeah. So
good to hear
it was
that.
really good.
Yeah, my
and that's
pleasure.
another way that you can stand out with media, by thanking them for the story that they do on you.
That's right. I think that's a lost art, you know, in this internet-based world we live in, is just pulling out a thank you card, putting a pen to paper, and popping it in the mail.
Yes, my kids do not know how to write thank you notes.
That's a good summer. We got a story here, 10 ways for teens to make money during the summer. We don't have time to get into it this time, but yeah, you know, hey, put them to work, right?
Right.
Teach them those tricks. All right, so we have our feel-good story of the day. Every day we're going to tell you something positive in our Tell Me Something Good.
Tell me something good.
Okay, so Gal Gadot visits Children's Hospital dressed as Wonder Woman. She continues to be a Wonder Woman on and off the screen after visiting a children's hospital in Virginia in a full costume. Gadot took time off from filming Wonder Woman 1984 in the D.C. and Northern Virginia area this week to visit the patients and staff of Inova Children's Hospital in Falls Church. Not only did she bring hope and joy to the patients, but also the staff. Thank you at Al Gadot for visiting us at Innova Health Children's Hospital. You are a true Wonder Woman. The kids loved it, and so did the staff. Dr. Lucas Calazo wrote on Twitter. So pretty cool. They got the pictures up on the TV screen there as well. So awesome stuff. Good show today. You know, really good content, talking about ways that we can help people. Kind of recapping, Jason Kobal, our legal analyst, he talked about workers' comp, talked about how the different choices are there between workers' comp and personal injury law. The consumer doesn't have choices on the workers' comp side as much from the employer's side. The health insurance company is going to lead that decision. Personal injury law, you're more in control. We want you reaching out to Jason Kobal. He's our legal analyst for workers' comp, personal injury law, fair debt practices, Social Security awards, disability. So find out, you know, if you have anybody in your network that needs help with that, we'd love for you to reach out, engage with us, consumerqb.com. Also, Louise Harris in studio here talking about how you can stand out in a crowd, press releases. She can help you with writing your own book. If you'd like to have a ghostwriter, she can help you as a ghostwriter for your book, blog posting as well. So I want to thank Jason Kobal, Louise Harris, thank you for coming in. Awesome show today. Thanks to all of our listeners, viewers out there of our TV show on WeBeam TV. And make sure you follow us online at Twitter, Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram as well. Facebook.com, Brandon Rhymes PA. We have multiple accounts there, Consumer Quarterback Show, because a lot of the content that we repurpose is on social media as well, in case you missed the show. So we want you also to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food, some clothing, hand it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Do something kind for one another, and stay out of trouble. Drive safely out there. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.